Hi, second grade. Today we are going to be reading a book called The Digestive System. This is a true book, and the author is Christine Taylor-Butler. If you'll look on the front, you'll see that the digestive system says a group of organs break down or digest food for the body. Some food stays in the stomach for as long as 5 hours. You can see already that we are going to be learning true facts about the digestive system. So let's dig in. On the first page, it says, find the truth. Everything you are about to read is true except for one of the sentences on this page. Which one is true? True or false? Your small intestine is about 5 feet or 1.5 meters long. And true or false? An acid strong enough to dissolve metal helps digest food in the stomach. It says we can find the answers in this book. I'm excited to dig in with you. The first thing I notice is that there is a table of contents inside this book. It says chapter 1 is called It's a Gas. What Makes You Belch? Found on page 7. Belch. I can tell there's going to be some tricky words in this book. Chapter 2 says Your Food Processor. Why is chewing so important? On page 13. Says The Big Truth. Food's Long Journey. What happens to a sandwich after you eat it? On page 24. Chapter 3 is Digestive Disorders. What makes your stomach ache? That's a good question. Chapter 4 says Call the Experts. What is an expert? It says How do doctors examine your digestive system? Maybe a doctor is an expert? I'll find out on page 35. Chapter 5 is called Fit for Life. What kind of exercise is good after a meal? And then there are some more pieces at the end. True statistics, resources, important words. I wonder if that will be like my glossary. Index, and about the author. So I can tell there's a lot of information in this text. I think for this first part and this first lesson, we'll read half of the story today. Let's get started. You see right away, there's a picture on the front, and it is a young girl drinking what looks like a glass of water. Let's find out how that has to fit into our story. Chapter 1, It's a Gas. Burp. If you eat or drink too fast, you'll swallow too much air. This can cause you to belch. You're having lunch with your grandparents. You're on your best behavior, but as you sip your soda, your stomach starts to feel strange. It feels very full. It aches. Then, the worst possible thing happens. You belch loudly. Embarrassed? Probably, but don't feel too bad. It's your digestive system in action, and it's normal. Everyone belches. When you eat and drink, you swallow gas as well as food. It could be air. It could be carbon dioxide from a fizzy drink. Sometimes the gas comes out as a burp or a belch. Your stomach doesn't need gas, so it gets rid of it. What it needs is food. Food is the fuel that provides you with energy. Your body needs energy for moving, breathing, and even thinking. So I read there, sometimes the gas comes back out as a burp or a belch. So now I know that the word belch means the same thing as burp. Down here, it looks like there's a caption or an extra piece of information. It says, drinking bubbly drinks through a straw is a recipe for belching. You take in air through the straw as well as carbon dioxide from the drink. And over here, the caption says, your digestive system slows down at night. However, it keeps breaking down food even when you are sleeping. That's interesting. Your digestive system breaks food into small units that can be used by your body. Whatever you can't use is passed out of your body as waste. Bacteria in your system change part of the waste into gas. Right away, I'm noticing that this word bacteria is bold. That means it's darker than the rest of the words. That tells me it must be important. Maybe they'll tell me more about it. Some of this gas is absorbed into your body, but other gases are released out of your digestive system through your rectum. Another bold word. It may seem embarrassing. However, all people have gas in their digestive tract. It is perfectly normal to pass gas as many as 20 times a day. If you don't know what they mean by pass gas, it's the same thing as fart. Yeah, go ahead, get your laughs out here. Food to gas. Some foods cause people to have more gas than other foods do. Beans, for instance, are not completely digested by your small intestine. When the beans reach your large intestine, bacteria begin to feed on them. The bacteria produce large amounts of gas in the process. Most gas passes quietly, but sometimes it builds up pressure. It comes out at high speed. This creates that familiar sound. Foods such as eggs and meat contain a lot of sulfur. When the bacteria in your stomach feed on these foods, they produce gases that smell like rotten eggs. Phew! So, if you've ever passed gas and it has smelled bad or been very loud, you can thank bacteria breaking down foods in your body. Here there's a picture of the human body, and this looks like a diagram because things are labeled. I see mouth, I see the word esophagus, liver, stomach, large intestine, small intestine, and rectum. It says the digestive tract is like a long, winding tube. It is helped by other organs in the body, such as the liver. I see that word digestive with this picture. So it makes me wonder, is the digestive system have to do with this picture? Let's find out more. Chapter 2, your food processor. From one end to the other, the digestive tract is about 30 feet or 9 meters long. Wow, that's very long. Your digestive system has an important job. It breaks down food into tiny pieces. The nutrients, vitamins, and minerals in food can then pass into your bloodstream to be used by your body. Your digestive tract consists of 6 main parts: the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and rectum. Each part has its own task. Oh, you guys, I was right. Looking at this picture in the caption helped me figure out that the digestive tract does include these pieces in the picture. Again, the 6 main parts are the mouth, the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and rectum. And it says here, each part has its own task. Chew on this. Your body begins to break down or digest food as soon as it enters your mouth. Teeth break up the food into smaller pieces. Saliva is the liquid in your mouth. It is produced by salivary glands. It contains chemicals called enzymes. If you ever see this in parentheses over here, it tells you how to pronounce this tricky word, enzymes. These start to break down starches in your food even before it's swallowed. Saliva also contains a lot of water, which mixes with the food. This helps the food slide down your esophagus smoothly. Muscles around your esophagus squeeze or contract in waves. This action pushes food down the esophagus to your stomach. It says your front teeth cut and slice food, your back teeth mash food. So it looks like the mouth is the starting point for that digestive tract. Your body makes more than 1 quart of saliva each day. Mashed food inside your esophagus is called a bolus. So inside your mouth, there's another diagram. To have your teeth, your tongue, your salivary gland that produces saliva or spit. Back here, there's another one. The bolus is the food that starts to get mashed up, and then it goes down into your esophagus. Thank goodness for these diagrams. Says, don't drink this juice. Your stomach is made of strong muscles. It can stretch to hold about 3 pints or 1.4 liters of food at one time. When food enters your stomach, the muscles squeeze and mash your food into smaller and smaller pieces. The cells lining your stomach release a liquid called gastric juice. It contains enzymes and hydrochloric acid. This acid is strong enough to dissolve metal. A mucus lining protects your stomach from the acid. Wow, there's acid in your stomach. That's interesting. And something called gastric juice. It says how the stomach digests food. Step 1. It takes 5 seconds for a piece of solid food to reach the stomach. Step 2. Food enters the stomach. Gastric juices break down the proteins. I can see the food going into the stomach, and then the gastric juices are in the stomach. Step 3. The stomach walls contract. The digested food turns into chyme. I haven't come across that word yet. Number 4. The sphincter opens to let a small amount of chyme pass. Let's see if we can find out what those tricky words mean. Gastric juice begins to break down proteins. Proteins are found in foods such as meat, cheese, and eggs. Food stays in your stomach for 2 to 5 hours. Once it mixes with gastric juice, it is called chyme. The stomach releases chyme into the duodenum. Oh, see, there, that pronunciation helped me. Duodenum. This is the first part of the small intestine. A muscle called a sphincter relaxes to let a little chyme pass through. The sphincter then squeezes tightly to keep the rest in your stomach. Interesting. Wow, here's a picture. And it says if you stretched out your small intestine, it would be almost 20 feet or 6 meters long. That's really long, and it's all wrapped up in your body. That's crazy. The small intestine is about 1 to 2 inches wide. Wow. It says it's small, but it's long. The small intestine is where most food leaves your digestive tract and enters your bloodstream. Before this happens, the food is broken down even further. Organs, such as your pancreas, gallbladder, and liver, help this digestion happen. Your pancreas squirts fluid into the duodenum. This fluid is rich in enzymes that break down fats, proteins, and starches. The fluid also contains a chemical that makes chyme less acidic. It is called sodium bicarbonate. Your gallbladder adds a liquid called bile to the chyme. Bile helps break up blobs of fat so that enzymes can get to it more easily. Bile is made in the liver. It is stored in the gallbladder. So here's more pictures that help us figure out what our digestive system looks like. We've learned about the stomach, pancreas, small intestine, talked about the duodenum, the gallbladder, and the liver. All parts of your digestive system. The small intestine has many folds. It is lined with millions of finger-shaped bumps called villi. This creates a huge surface area that can absorb large volumes of food quickly. Tiny blood vessels inside the villi absorb the nutrients straight into your bloodstream. Each villus is covered with even smaller finger-shaped bumps. They are called microvilli. So this is their picture of the wall of the small intestine. Nutrient-rich blood goes from your small intestine to your liver. The liver converts the nutrients into substances needed by the body. That word converts means changes. So the liver changes the nutrients into substances that your body needs. It stores some nutrients. It releases them into the blood when they are needed. The liver also breaks down harmful substances such as alcohol. Eating fresh fruits and vegetables is good for your liver. They contain enzymes, vitamins, and fiber that help with digestion. Remember, digestion is breaking down the food into your digestive system. And here's a fun fact. If a surgeon accidentally cut off a piece of the liver, it would grow back. That's interesting. The end of the line. By the time the food reaches the end of the small intestine, most of the nutrients have been absorbed. The parts that your body can't use pass into your large intestine. This intestine is only 5 feet long. However, it is about 3 to 4 inches wide. The large intestine is also called the colon. It absorbs minerals and water from indigestible food. This makes the waste more solid. Lumps of solid waste are called feces. Muscles push the feces along the colon to the rectum. They remain there until you go to the bathroom. So, here's a part that some of you will think is gross, but feces is the same thing that we call poop. When you go to the bathroom and you release feces, that's the waste that your body is getting rid of, the stuff it no longer needs. Fun fact about kiwis. Kiwi fruit contain a high amount of fiber. They help keep your large intestine healthy. Here are some digestive tips. Number 1, eat at regular meal times. Number 2, chew your food well. Number 3, stop eating before you feel really full. The brain signals the feeling of fullness about 10 minutes after you're actually full. 4, relax. If you are relaxed, your body will produce more gastric juice. 5, sit up straight when you eat so that your digestive tract is not cramped. 6, avoid drinking lots of liquids half an hour before or after your meals. And 7, don't eat late at night. It takes your body longer to digest food when you are asleep. Those are helpful tips. I didn't know all of those. And the last part here, the big truth, is food's long journey. It's lunchtime. You take the first bite of your sandwich and start chewing. You wash down that mouthful with some milk. However, swallowing is just the beginning of the journey. It may take 20 to 30 hours for this food to digest completely and for the waste to leave your body. At noon, it says you take a bite of your sandwich. You chew it until it is mushy. Saliva helps break down the starches in the bread. A minute later, 12:01, the bolus of sandwich slides down your esophagus. 12:02, your stomach begins to mash the bolus into chyme. Enzymes break down the proteins. Strong acid kills bacteria in the chyme. Chyme stays in the stomach for a few hours. At 3 p.m., a squirt of chyme enters your duodenum. Your pancreas and gallbladder release liquids to help digest it. Villi in the small intestine transfer nutrients to your bloodstream. Then at 6 p.m., the last part of the chyme that can't be digested enters your colon, the large intestine. The colon absorbs water and minerals and transfers them into the body. At midnight, the undigested chyme is still traveling through your colon. At 6 a.m., the waste enters your rectum. It waits there until you go to the bathroom. At 7:30 a.m., the wastes come out as feces and are flushed away. So from noon on one day to 7:30 a.m. the next day, that's how long it can take food to get all the way through your body. It says your body can't digest food and move fast at the same time. This is why you feel sick if you exercise soon after a meal. Interesting. Wow. Second grade, that's a lot of information to take in. So I'm going to stop reading now, and we will resume the second half of this book for our next lesson. Thanks for listening.